Is real Nathan Daly a white supremacist? That's what he got accused of. There's some solid logic here, and I don't really know. So let's dive into this video. It's a little clip from a live stream that he did.
Oh, I'm good, Nate. Man, thank you for bringing me on. I appreciate that.
Man, thank you for joining us tonight, man. You're a new face, brother, on the live.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But you asked the question, was this racist?
Yes, sir.
And you seem to be very sincere in wanting to know that. And it is definitely racist.
Okay.
You ain't gonna understand this, and I'm hoping you do some research and you find out. But
all right.
Already, that is not how you enter a conversation.
Because the power dynamic is off.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, white people are in that thing saying that it's real, it's mental, but they're in a superior position.
Okay.
You know, called the system of racism, white supremacy. Now, you were in the profession, you was a police officer. So you have the mindset of a white supremacist. You know, okay. You're indoctrinated into that system, whether you know that or not. So it's hard for you to see the system, but I follow you because you're on a mission to help fix the criminal justice system, the police force, to be specific. And that attracts me because I too am on a mission to teach my people about the system of racism, white supremacy. And everybody should look up Dr. Francis Cress Welsing to get an understanding of the system of racism, white supremacy. And again, it is racist.
So that is what we call an appeal to authority. This guy says this, so therefore.
This is because the power dynamic is off. These people live in a gated community because they want to be away from black people. You see what I'm saying? So anybody come into that neighborhood who they don't want to be there, they're going to respond like racist people. They're going to mob up and do what they do.
Man, I would say, yeah, you're wrong. I'll definitely say you're wrong, but I understand what you're trying to say. I understand what you're meaning to say, but I would definitely say you're wrong.
Yeah, but tell me why I'm wrong.
I mean, let's start with the gated community. Let's start with that, right? You made a statement and you said that white people live in a gated community because they don't want black people in there.
Prove me wrong.
You truly believe that?
Yeah, and they do too. That's why they respond the way they did.
Well, I mean, in situations like this, brother, listen, I can't prove you wrong because perception's reality. I can't go into your reality and change it, right? Okay. And so, you know, it's not so much about proving you wrong. I'm not here to prove anybody right or wrong, right? I'm here to really bring a lot of transparency to things that people are unaware of. You know, I've been an officer for over 13 years. And so I have an experience that a lot of people won't have the luxury.
Look at his face again, as he's dropping the fact that, you know, a legitimate appeal to authority, not saying, oh, this guy said it. No, a legitimate appeal to authority. I spent 13 years dealing with this stuff. And he's just ready to brush it by because nah, you don't hear what I'm saying.
Of having, right? And so again, the whole concept of white supremacy, it's an ideology, right? So again, not excusing it because the idea is you can be whoever you think you are. If you think you're a white supremacist, it's a mentality. You said it earlier, it's an illness, right? It's a mentality, it's a mindset. So that doesn't mean I have to believe it because you think you're superior because you lack melanin in your skin. That's a personal thing that you have going on. It's rightfully so. It's a strong insecurity. If you think that what sets us apart is skin color, listen, you can believe what you want to believe.
And I love the way Nathan handles this. I love it because the way that race relations are going on in this country, not to say that there's no issue with racial relations, but the way that it's playing out, Nathan is engaging with the ideas. And even though they're ridiculous and, offensive, kind of, he's just engaging with the ideas. And okay, what is the logic behind this? This is how you deal with ignorance. This is how you deal with attacks like this.
Now, you made a statement and you said, I have a mindset. that I'm unaware of, that I am, would you say, a part of white supremacy?
No, you're a white supremacist.
I'm a white supremacist. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
No, that's crazy, right? That's crazy.
It
Right?
is, just a little bit. Just a little bit, brother.
Well,
Just a little bit. Break it down for me. What does that mean? Educate me and educate the people watching.
Yeah, most people don't realize that black people will be white supremacists. Well, they can't be racist because they don't have the power dynamic. But a white supremacist, no matter what your race is, you simply believe that white people's ice is colder. And I'm basically quoting Dr. Claude Anderson on that.
Do you believe that I believe that white people's ice is colder?
You have no choice to believe that, because
you have no choice.
You've been indoctrinated to believe it. We all have been indoctrinated.
Okay.
If you don't go through the steps to uneducate yourself on it, then you just operating from just the system. Everybody, because of the system of racism, white supremacy, we all have been indoctrinated to believe the superiority of white people. I mean, they
do you believe
back
that?
it up. Well, I know for a fact they're very unsuperior. You know what I'm saying? Based on.
So I know, again, and Nathan holds his own. I don't need to defend Nathan in this conversation. He is holding his own, and obviously he knows more about this stuff than I ever could. But so sorry to interrupt your podcast experience. I just want to remind you, if you're enjoying what you're watching, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. And if you really love it, there's some support links in the description. I would love if you could help out the channel. And back to the show. You just said everybody, what did he say? Everybody is indoctrinated to believe this, but I don't. I know they're not superior. So, okay, so not everybody then. So there is a way to either not be indoctrinated in the first place, or to take that indoctrination and throw it aside because you've done it, according to your own words. Again, I'm talking to this dude. But Nathan is not capable of doing that, or at least has shown that he's not doing it. So, let's
wait, hold on one second. You believe that?
Believe what?
You believe that they're not superior, right?
Oh, I know they're not superior.
So wait 1 second. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that I don't believe that?
Because of your viewpoints and some things that you say. Now that.
Okay.
And again, I don't expect you to understand this. Trust me.
I don't expect you to understand. You're just a young black boy. I know they're both black, but is it just me? Is it just me? That's how it's coming off.
This is some up level type of understanding.
Yeah, Trevor, you're absolutely right. The guy on the right needs to bring the good. Like, okay, drop the you got some strong claims here, and we're all open-minded. So bring it. What do you got?
You keep saying that.
I hope you will one day understand it, but I don't expect you to understand it today.
One day, when you're like me, after having gone through 13 years of law enforcement, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. But when you've done what I've done, which we have no idea about because you've given no credentials or anything that you have any reason to be saying this, maybe you'll get it.
Hey,
I understand more than you think I understand.
Tell him.
Let me say this. I think this is a great conversation. Here's the issue. The issue is I don't believe in white supremacy. So if you've been following my channel, you may not have heard me say it before, but white people are regular people. Their skin color doesn't make them great. No white man is superior over me. I don't believe it. You can't make me believe it. I don't subscribe to that. So what's interesting is that, as you put it earlier, is that you yourself know that to be true, right? You assume that I don't know that. I know that. I say it on this channel all the time. White people are not superior over anybody. That's a mindset. You can think what you want to think. It doesn't matter to me. You could be and believe who you want to be. I don't care if you have some white people who think they're golden unicorns. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. We live in a country where you can choose to be who you want to be. That's the country we live in now. Now, here's the thing. I don't have any issues with white people. I love all people, right? I love all people. I think we have to be careful when we start throwing these labels around as if white people or people with white skin are the problem. That's not true. Wicked people and evil people, corrupt people are problems to everybody, right? It's not just exclusive to black people. Now, when you make a statement and you say that,
what's up, Dustin? Thank you for joining us. We are watching Real Nathan Daly be, if you may remember him from the cop stream, he has been called a white supremacist just by being a cop by this dude. And he is handling it like a goddamn champ.
white people live in a gated community to keep black people out, that's extremely ignorant and it's grossly inaccurate. Why is that? Because black people live in that community. So are they themselves participating in a gated, racist, supremacist?
You would expect that after Nathan laying this out, like, hey, black people live in gated communities, then dude would be like, oh, that's pretty simple. I probably should have thought of that. But now that you say that, it makes perfect sense. Can't be racist.
Yeah.
And are gated communities meant? What about black? There are plenty of black communities gated as well. Are they gated to keep white people out, or are they gated to keep black people out of a community that's for black people? You get what I'm saying? It sounds.
I don't think he does, Nathan. I don't think he does.
It sounds ignorant.
Again, I do understand your ignorance on the subject. I trust.
He understands. So okay, again, I'm here to learn. So when I hear a statement like that, when somebody lays out something clear in rebuttal of what seems like a clear fact, and then the other person says, "I understand what you're saying," but then I tune in. Then I'm really listening. Because Nathan just dropped knowledge. He just dropped logic. So if you've already, and this happens to me all the time where people are like, I understand what you're saying, but you haven't thought of this, and this. It's like, okay, well, actually I did, but you didn't bring those things up. And I still came to the conclusion that I came to while thinking of all those things. When somebody says, you didn't, I understand that, but the expectation is that you're going to take what was said into account and either directly refute it or say something that supersedes anything that Nathan just said. That's what I'm looking for. That's the only thing that's appropriate in at this stage of the conversation for it to be civil, despite the fact that Nathan is keeping his composure better than I ever could. His interlocutor is not being civil. So don't let Nathan's demeanor confuse you. This is completely inappropriate and should be offensive no matter who you are.
Okay. I do. But right. That white community that's gated, let's just make up a imaginary white community. It's gated. They're going to allow a small percentage of black people in that community. But once they get past a certain percentage, them folks going to a white flight. They're going to leave that black neighborhood. It has happened for thousands.
That's not what I'm.
And again, I'm just stopping it to give credit to Nathan for being so present in this conversation and being able to be like, wait a minute, we're talking about thing A. That's an entirely different thing. But he's doing it so well. I don't want to interrupt him.
I'm asking you. There are black people who live in that community.
White supremacists. They're black. They're black white supremacists.
So what you're telling me is that gated communities are for the purpose of keeping black people out, even if black people live in the same communities. So what do you call it? Are gated communities racist?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God. Gated communities are racist because even though black people can live there, all right. And that's why you hear somebody like Nathan be like, okay, all right.
The black people that are allowed to live there are of the same mindset of those white people who live there. They're white supremacists too. It's just a small percentage of them.
I myself live in a gated community. And
I told you you're a white supremacist, man. You're proving my point.
Should I not? So I hear you, brother. I hear you. So should I move out of a gated community since I'm no longer supporting white supremacy?
Well, see, you don't know. You think you're not supporting the system. You see what I'm saying?
Again, telling people what they think. This is a clear sign of somebody who you don't need to really worry about. And I think Nathan made did a perfect balance here of using this gentleman as an example. And when you debate, quote unquote, debate people like this, the goal is not to change their mind. The goal is that you've got however many people watching, and those people may or may not be already on your side or may or may not be already on their side. But there's some a combination of people who are leaning one way, leaning the other, don't really know, whatever. They're not securely in either camp. Those are the people that you are talking to when you're in a debate like this. But it's at a certain point you have to realize that, okay, I'm getting value out of exposing what this person thinks and bouncing my own rational thought off of their irrational thought. There's value in that for the people watching. And he knows that. Nathan knows that. But at a certain point, you have to just throw your hands up. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're not going to change this person's mind, and you're not going to provide value to anybody who is just watching you go around and round and round in circles.